Guys, this is Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews. I am your host, Boise, and you might have noticed, different location. Actually, different country. I am right now technically on my holiday. Say hello, Yasha.
Hi, Yasha.
So, that's right, me and Yasha are technically on holiday right now, WrestleMania week. So, I haven't really had much time to catch up on Raw. We did watch all of SmackDown, and yeah, I'm just going to give you my quick summaries on everything I have seen so far and give them a bit of a grading on that. Pretty much, Raw was what you expect from Raw. You had Stephanie McMahon start off the show, pretty much stating that it is now going to be winner takes all at WrestleMania. Not really the outcome I think a lot of fans were hoping for, which I cannot blame them. I don't understand why we need a undisputed women's champion. Seeing as both Raw and SmackDown we still have a brand split right now. This is just a bit of a kick in the nuts for all the other women on SmackDown, in my opinion. Especially Asuka, who was, for my liking, a really good champion, just didn't get any opportunities to really shine as a champion. So I think this is a misstep, and I can understand why a lot of fans were annoyed and angry with this one. Then we got moved on to Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins promo. Good little promo here from Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins. Really, Heyman is the best talker in the company. It shows every single time he cuts promos. He just makes it entertaining and makes it must-see. Shame enough that this rivalry really hasn't been able to grow, because let's be honest, Brock Lesnar never being there is always going to damage the matches, in my opinion. Seth Rollins came out, looked absolutely brilliant. A few low blows to Brock Lesnar's nuts, and the Beast Slayer looked absolutely awesome. He did get interviewed afterwards, stating he deserved it. They did say, Seth, if you do that at your WrestleMania match, you're pretty much gonna lose the match. He goes, yeah, well, he deserved it. I thought that was kind of cool. I think you found that really lame, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Seth Rollins kicking Brock Lesnar in the nuts. Next up, we did have a tag team match. It was a eight-woman tag team match where we saw the Hogan Boss Connection teaming up with the Divas of Doom of Natalya and Beth Phoenix teaming up with Bayley and Sasha Banks, taking on the Iconics and Tamina and Nia Jax. Very basic match in my opinion. Again, it was good to see Beth Phoenix really outshining everyone, but I think it really was one of those matches where it's more focused on the veteran wrestler than anything else. But yeah, she looks good. Everyone else, it was just a throwaway match in my opinion, which is, I just hope that the Iconics get to shine a little bit more. They're probably my favourite women's tag team, because they are legitimately a tag team. I don't think anyone else really feels like they are a tag team in the women's division right now. Next up, we had Batista, pretty much cutting a great promo. It took a few words and that was about it, and that's all you want to hear. He stated kiss his ass and walked off, and I thought that was brilliant. What more do you want from Batista? It's just a badass promo. Batista's always going to be the man. Next up, we had a lumberjack match where we saw Jinder Mahal versus Apollo. Again, a match. Do we really need to see this? I know this was all building up for the Andre the Giant type of match, but again, just really didn't do anything particularly special for me. But it was one of those matches. It's trying to highlight the Andre the Giant, but it's got a bit more. Obviously you've got Braun Strowman and the SNL guys who are going to be involved in that match, but end of the day, do we really need Apollo versus Jinder Mahal? Let's be honest, I don't think anyone needed to see that match. And then we had Kurt Angle's bloody video package for his career in WWE was absolutely fantastic. Rey Mysterio came out, he was interrupted by Baron Corbin, and it led to Rey Mysterio taking on Baron Corbin in the main event. Good little promo video for Kurt Angle's, Kurt Angle's last Raw before he retires. Great video, I love that, but it just felt like, do we need Baron Corbin getting involved in this segment at this stage? I wanted to see Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio. I did not want to see Baron Corbin versus Kurt. Rey Mysterio. It just, again, not something I wanted to see. Then we had the Revival versus Alistair Black and Ricochet. Really good match. The only downfall for that whole match, in my opinion, was definitely the time restraint. It was a tag team title match. The Revival were a great tag team, but it's again one of those ones where you watch it and you go, damn, if they just had a bit more time, it would just be perfect. Really good match. Alistair Black and Ricochet are fantastic. The Revival did win by count out, so that's a bit of a shame, but no. But now that we know on SmackDown, Ricochet and Alistair Black are going to be in a tag team title match at WrestleMania, that's fine with me. But I did see a WWE interview afterwards where it was Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins talking to the Revival and challenging them for the Raw tag team titles at WrestleMania. Maybe we could see Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins finally getting their first victory at WrestleMania. That would be interesting. Next we had Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair taking on the Riott squad. The tag team match itself was nothing spectacular at all. The rules were if any of Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair or Ronda Rousey attacks either member of their team, they would be taken out of the main event at WrestleMania. Really wasn't much to the tag team match itself, but Becky and Charlotte really aggressive tags. Finally, when Ronda Rousey tagged in, she took out Liv Morgan, got her to tap out in no time, and that was about it. Then they started brawling straight away. They got police involved, and they all got arrested. And that's the highlight. They showed it so many times, didn't they? Yeah, sure. The highlight of Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda just getting arrested. Sorry. But yeah, that bit, the storytelling bit was good, but everything else was just meh. Next up we had Heavy Machinery taking on Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Again, a match I didn't understand why we needed to see that before Mania. It did nothing for anyone. Chad Gable and Bobby Roode have no story going into WrestleMania right now. Heavy Machinery have not really been doing anything since their call up to their main roster. So again, a wasted opportunity in my opinion. Then we had Braun Strowman versus local competitors who looked like the SNL guys. This was just a squash match. It was a handicap match, really nothing to it. It just, again, we've seen this before. We've seen Braun Strowman beat up local competitors loads of times. Then we had Finn Balor announce that it will be Finn Balor the Demon challenging Bobby Lashley for the Intercontinental Championship. I kind of expected that. I did put that in my predictions video that it probably will be the Demon Finn who will be challenging at Mania. First time Demon Finn will be appearing at WrestleMania, so that will be cool to see. But let's be honest, Demon Finn never loses, so it'll be cool if he does win the title with the Demon. And then it moved us on to the main event, which was Baron Corbin versus Rey Mysterio, a match I did not need to see. Baron Corbin did win, but while he was celebrating, Kurt Angle comes out of nowhere and puts him in the ankle lock, and that was the end of the show. For me, Raw was okay. There was some really good bits and bats, like the Seth Rollins bit with Brock Lesnar was good, Batista's bit was good, and the main event for WrestleMania, the Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair all getting arrested was, it added more to the storyline. So I didn't give any scores to any of the matches or any of the segments this week, obviously because I'm away. But I'm going to give Raw a score I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. I'll probably edit something on there. But yes, that was Raw for this week. I will now click into SmackDown Live. On to SmackDown Live, and we started off the show with none other than my spirit animal, Kevin Owens, and he was hosting the Kevin Owens show, and his guest this week was none other than AJ Styles and Randy Orton. This was a really great promo from both men, really fun, and let's be honest, AJ had the best line of it all, talking about how he was at the bingo halls and at all these like gymnasiums, and pretty much unlike you, Randy, I wasn't getting done for violating the wellness policy. that was really good. Both men started getting into a brawl with each other. AJ tried to hit the phenomenal elbow, and he was stopped by the RKO. Is this signs of things to come at WrestleMania? We'll have to wait and see. But this was a really great opening segment. Good, hard-hitting promos by all involved. And let's be honest, Kevin Owens is always fantastic. Even though he had a small part, it's good to see him on TV yet again. Next up, then we had a we had an 8-man tag team match where we saw the Usos and Ricochet and Alistair Black taking on Shinsuke Nakamura, Rusev, and The Bar. This was a decent match. We've already seen this type of match before with everyone involved, but it was decent enough to watch. The babyface teams did win, and then, surprise, surprise, none other than a former SmackDown Women's Champion, Alexa Bliss, returns to SmackDown Live to make a huge announcement. We will get a SmackDown tag team match at WrestleMania. It's going to be a fatal 4-way where we see the Usos taking on Ricochet, Alistair Black versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and Rusev versus The Bar. Now, if we just take out Rusev and Shinsuke, put in, I don't know, the Hardy Boys, and put some ladders in there, it would just be perfect. Then we had the Iconics come out. They addressed WrestleMania. This was a typical heel promo. I was watching this morning, and all I can say is I know one person in this apartment did not enjoy the Iconics voice, and I'm not going to say who. Yasha did not enjoy the Iconics at all, and found them to be rather annoying, which was the whole stick anyway. But it's interesting to see a non-wrestling fan see the Iconics and going, my god, these people are bloody annoying. Then we had The Miz versus Sanity in a 3-on-1 handicap match. I thought this was a really good little match for The Miz. Sanity getting beaten up again. We saw The Miz destroy Shelton Benjamin and Sanity last week when he addressed Shane O'Mac, and this time it being a handicap match, falls count everywhere. It just felt like, ooh, what, you know, it's already, they're already damaged, but this really made The Miz look like a badass. I mean, just definitely building up that feud between Shane O'Mac, which I'm excited to see. I can't wait to see Shane jump off something very tall, and hopefully The Miz get the victory. Then we had Becky Lynch cut a promo. This was a really strong promo from Becky Lynch, again talking about her match between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. Becky Lynch for me just comes across every time. She just feels like a superstar who's the hottest, you know, her and Kofi right now are the two biggest babyface superstars the company has. And her coming out, talking about everything which happened with Charlotte and Ronda Rousey the night before on Raw, and then coming out and saying that she's going to win it all, she's going to bring everything to SmackDown Live. I just like that. I like that aggressiveness. I love Becky Lynch just being that type of person. And then we had an 18-person mixed tag team match. This was, let's be honest, this match was just chaotic. It was interesting. I was watching with Yasha, and she was watching bits of it, and she looked really confused on what was going on. I've got to say, the best part from that whole part was Nikki Cross. She was just like a wild animal jumping on people's backs. Shelton Benjamin looked terrified of having her jump on her back and act like a crazy person. But you can see where they were trying to turn it, like you had your heels and baby faces on one side. But I was still on the idea that Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows were not heels but faces, so a bit weird seeing them on the heel section, but I'm guessing they just had to have even numbers at this point. Then we had Samoa Joe versus Mustafa Ali, or Ali now. This was a decent little match. This really showcasing the dangerousness of Samoa Joe, that no matter what, no matter what situation, he can take on a small man like Mustafa Ali, and this is like an indication for Rey Mysterio, which comes, you know, for his WrestleMania match. Then we had the contract signing. This was the main event for SmackDown Live, and this was a really, really good little segment. You had Daniel Bryan got a brilliant promo talking about how he's been in Kofi's spot before. He knows exactly how it feels, And then you have Kofi Kingston listening to this, and he's just getting more angry and angry and angry. Big E and Xavier Woods, they're just eating it up with the crowd chanting Kofi. Kofi Kingston's name was so loud, it was deafening. It just again reminds me of Becky Lynch, or you know, when she first came, the big hot commodity. Kofi's now as well in that same league, in my opinion. And there's so much belief and so much like ideas that Kofi Kingston winning this title at WrestleMania is going to be a huge event, and it definitely is. It's definitely for me. If you got the, you know, the women's main event, then before that I want to see the WWE title match. I don't want the Universal one before. I want to see that one, then the women's one. I want Universal one as the third match of the night. But yeah, this is definitely showing the crowd really pushing everything for Kofi Kingston to have his moment in the sun. And I can't blame it. Kofi really talks about how could Daniel say he's been in my spot when Daniel won the World Heavyweight title 2 years after signing with the company, while I've been here 11 years and I haven't even had a singles match for a world title. So yeah, and then this was it. That was like the best bit about the whole show. The Kofi Kingston, you know, straight hard ass promo towards Daniel Bryan. So if I'm going to give this week's episode a SmackDown a score like I did with Raw, I'll probably give this a 3 out of 5. I think everything kind of worked together. Everything's building up fantastic going into WrestleMania, and I can't wait to see where everything goes from there. And there you go, guys. That was my quick reviews of both SmackDown and Raw for this week. Like I stated, I think SmackDown was slightly better this week, but I'm really excited to see where everything is going to lead up to WrestleMania in the next few days. If you do like our videos, I know this is just a really quick review. I'm sorry that there's not going to be any backgrounds. There'll probably be some pictures also, and I'll try and edit those in. There's not a lot in this because, like I stated, I am actually on my holidays right now. So, if you do like our videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, press that bell to keep notified. If you want to follow us on the old Twitter, it's at SmackTalkYouTube. That's a U and a tube. If you want to follow me on the old Twitter, it's at Boise88. And I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews.